Let's stop kidding ourselves. It's happening. I've said this for the last several weeks. I received a copy of a letter today from Rosemary Hills Elementary School in Silver Spring, Maryland. This is from an elementary school principal. And in it, it says, additional KN95 masks have been distributed, and students and staffs in identified classes or activities will be required to mask while in school for the next 10 days, except while eating or drinking. KN95 mask for 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. I've been doing well child visits over the last couple of weeks. I've been doing some school physicals, athletic physicals. Let me remind you that there are 6-year-olds that barely weigh 35 pounds. They are now being given KN95 masks. You might wonder what's the difference between that and an N95 mask. An N95 mask conforms to U.S. standards. A KN95 mask conforms to China standards. 6-year-old, 35-pound kid wearing a KN95 mask. Were you aware of the fact that masks such as this have not been validated in children? That means we have virtually no data to indicate that a KN95 mask, some people call them respirators, could be appropriately fitted around the nose, the cheeks, underneath the jaw, touching into the mandibular region. 6, 7, and 8-year-olds have to wear masks. You're wondering, gee whiz, that's pretty impressive. There must be some really bad stuff going on. What's the justification in the letter? It says this: 3 or more individuals have tested positive for COVID-19. 3 or more individuals have tested positive for COVID-19. By the CDC's own standards, right now, experts say that more than 90% of children have already had COVID-19. This was based on CDC's own antibody screening data. Other studies indicate that more than 95% of Americans have had COVID. We know that President Biden and his wife have both been vaccinated multiple times, and they've both had COVID twice. I had a patient in today who works for someone who has been vaccinated 5 times and has had COVID 3 times. Far, far and away, the great majority of Americans have had COVID, and we have antibody protection. I have antibody protection to both nucleocapsids as well as the spike protein. But I just can't imagine trying to teach 1st and 2nd graders how to read, how to do phonetics with a KN95 mask. It's not going to be fitted appropriately anyway. This is just knee-jerk reflex. This is pandering. This is throwing mud on the wall. And let me just leave you with this thought. Do you know what goes into making up these masks? What the fabric is made of? What the materials are? I'll tell you some of the materials that are involved in KN95 masks. It says it right here. Numerous articles on the internet platforms. They're made of multiple layers of synthetic material, typically a plastic polymer. They're made of a material called polypropylene, a synthetic plastic fiber made out of fossil fuels like oil. There have been numerous articles over the last few weeks indicating that some of these materials in the masks may have volatile organic components to their very elemental nature. We're going to put them on, kids, and wear them for hours and hours on end, not really having any idea whether or not these various materials, these polymers, these polypropylene plastic fibers, are going to have an adverse effect. Folks, everybody in Maryland should be screaming at this elementary school, telling them to back off. Parents should be furious. Let's stop kidding ourselves. It's happening. Elementary kids are being forced to wear masks in order to go to school. It's going to compromise the quality of their education. They're going to be breathing in for hours on end polypropylene, polymer fibers. They're going to be wearing masks that conform to Chinese standards, not U.S. standards, because 3 or more positive tests have come in through the doors of COVID-19 virus that's most likely Omicron, and most likely it's going to be BA-286. And this has been an easily transmissible disease, but not particularly virulent or pathogenic. Let's not kid ourselves. Something terribly wrong is going on.